I'm 39 years old. My husband is 41. We've been married for almost 17 years. That's almost half my life, and nearly all of my adult life. We've built a home, raised 3 kids. Our daughter is 13, and our sons are 11 and 9. We've celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, school plays, scraped knees, and holidays. To the outside world, we probably looked like a perfectly normal family. Busy, tired, functional. But normal doesn't mean healthy. And normal definitely doesn't mean safe. For the longest time I thought I could read him. I thought I knew who he was. I thought he was mine. Flawed, yes, distant at times, maybe even emotionally absent. But mine. I had no idea how far removed from reality I was. It all started with something so small. I lost my wallet. It was a Saturday. One of those chaotic weekends where everything's slightly behind schedule and you can't even find your keys, let alone your sanity. I wasn't too worried at first, just annoyed. I retraced my steps, double-checked my car, asked the kids if they had seen it. Nothing. By Sunday, I was getting frustrated. I started mentally replaying every moment of the past 48 hours, scanning for clues. Then, like a light bulb, I remembered I had put an AirTag in my wallet months ago, just in case something like this happened. A rare moment of past me being wise. I checked the location. It pinged at a hotel parking lot not too far from our house. My first reaction was confusion. Why would my wallet be there? I hadn't been to any hotel. I actually double-checked to make sure it was the right wallet. And then something icy crawled up my spine. I drove over, heart pounding faster than it should have. I tried to convince myself it was a glitch. That maybe someone else had picked up the wallet and randomly ended up there. But as I pulled into the lot, I saw a car. His car. My husband's. Parked neatly. Calmly. Like it belonged there. My stomach dropped. I know his license plate. I know every smudge on that car. Every bumper sticker. Every worn-out tire. It was him. He was supposed to be at work. I sat there in my car, trying to process what I was seeing. The parking lot was quiet. I stared at the hotel entrance, half expecting him to walk out at any moment. I didn't want to believe it. I grabbed my phone and sent him a message, trying to sound casual. Hey, I think I left my wallet in your car. Can you check? 20 minutes passed. My heart raced with every second. I stared at his car. I checked the AirTag again. Still there. Then finally, a reply. I parked at the far lot at work. I'll check in a bit. I felt a rush of nausea. He was lying. Boldly. I was parked right next to his car. I could reach out and touch his door handle if I wanted to. That lie felt like a slap. It wasn't just where he was. It was that he didn't even hesitate to lie about it. So easy. So practiced. I waited another half hour, hoping he'd come back out so I could see him for myself. He didn't. Eventually, I drove home, my hands trembling on the steering wheel the entire way. When I got home, I didn't even say a word. I grabbed the spare key to his car. Drove back. My movements were automatic. Like I wasn't fully there. Like I was watching myself from outside my body. I opened the car, grabbed my wallet, and left the AirTag. I didn't want to lose track of him. I needed to know what was going on. Later that day, he FaceTimed me. Just a regular call, supposedly from work. I stared at the background. Yes, it looked like his office. His tone was normal. But everything inside me screamed that something was deeply, deeply wrong. So I confronted him. I said, I found my wallet in your car. What were you doing at a hotel when you were supposed to be at work? Silence. And then his face changed. It was like watching someone's mask fall off. The way his shoulders slumped, the way he looked away from the screen, the shame in his eyes. He didn't try to deny it. He didn't even ask what I meant. He just whispered, "I made a huge mistake. I don't want to lose you." I hung up. I needed time. Space. He came home later that night. I didn't even need to say anything at first. He knew. He looked like a man walking into his own funeral. His eyes were red. His voice barely above a whisper. We sat down in the living room. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just started asking questions. So many questions. What hotel? How long? How often? Was it always the same woman? Did you ever sleep with them? Did you kiss them? Did they know you were married? He answered. At least, he said he was being honest. He told me it had been going on for over a year. That he would get full body massages. Ones that ended in more. He said it wasn't emotional, that there was never oral or penetration, just hands. He said it didn't mean anything. Just stress relief. Just escape. He also admitted to buying nude photos from women online. Subscriptions. DMs. He had paid for pictures of strangers. Fantasies. Secrets. I felt sick. I asked him why. That was the part one couldn't understand. Why? And that's when he started to open up. He said he had been stressed, so deeply stressed, and didn't know how to handle it. That the intimacy between us had dried up. That he felt unwanted. Unseen. Like I had stopped caring. I wanted to laugh and cry at the same time. Because from my side, it was me who felt unseen. It was me who had been longing for connection. 4 years. You see, our bedroom had been dead for a long time. We both knew it. But neither of us ever really said it out loud. We tiptoed around it like it was some untouchable truth. Something that just happens after kids. After exhaustion. After survival mode becomes your new normal. I used to think he just wasn't interested. That maybe he had a low libido. Maybe he just didn't need or want physical affection anymore. I was wrong. Turns out, he has a high libido. Just like me. He told me he masturbated often. Almost daily. That he did want me. That he had always wanted me. And that shattered me in a different way. Because for the past 2 years, my own sex drive had come roaring back. It was like something inside me had awakened after years of sleep. I started thinking about sex constantly. I masturbated regularly. I fantasized about my husband. I craved that closeness again. But every time I tried to initiate, he pulled away. Or he would only respond when he was drunk. And then I started feeling guilty. I started to wonder if I was taking advantage of him in those moments. So I made a rule with myself. I wouldn't initiate sex if he had more than 2 drinks. But then I realized. He always had more than 2 drinks. So I stopped trying. We lived like roommates. Co-parents. Functioning, but distant. Cold. Tired. And now here we were. 2 broken people, finally talking. Actually talking. 4 hours. 4 days. We stayed up late. We cried. We whispered. We yelled. We laid next to each other, not touching, just unraveling everything we had built. He apologized again and again. Said he would do anything to earn my trust. That he didn't want to lose our family. That he knew he had risked everything. And somewhere, deep down, I knew I had a choice to make. Part of me wanted to run. Pack up the kids, move out of state, start over. Just disappear. Leave the betrayal behind like it was a bad dream. That part of me was loud. Angry. Protective. But another part of me, quiet, tired, but still hopeful, wanted to try, wanted to stay, wanted to see if we could rebuild something from the ashes. I didn't decide right away. I told him I didn't trust him, that I wasn't sure if I even liked him, but I wanted to try. For now. So we began again. He cut up all of his credit cards. Every single one, except the joint one we shared. He handed over full access to our bank accounts, online purchases, everything. There were no arguments, no resistance. He said, "If you need to watch me 24/7 to feel safe again, I understand. I'll do whatever it takes." He deleted almost every social media account. Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Reddit. The only one he kept was Facebook, mostly because of family contacts and work connections. But even that, he barely touched. No more influencers. No more hidden messages. No more nude photos bought in the dark. And I kept the AirTag in his car. I didn't even try to hide it. I left it right where I had placed it that Sunday afternoon. He knew it was there, and he never once asked me to remove it. In a strange way, it became a symbol of our current state. Broken trust, openly visible. I wasn't ready to let go of that little piece of control. He started attending therapy. By himself. I didn't ask him to. He just went. Told me afterward. He said he realized how much he had been avoiding, suppressing, numbing. That the massages, the drinking, the lying, none of it fixed anything. They only added more pain. And danger. Apparently, he had been drinking more than I ever realized. Most nights after work. Sometimes during. There were nights he came home smelling faintly of beer, but I always brushed it off. A rough day, I thought. Everyone needs to unwind. But he confessed he had often driven home drunk. He's been sober since the day I found out. 1 month. 31 days. Our communication started to bloom in the middle of all this chaos. We began talking about things we'd never touched before. Bills. Stress. Household tasks. Emotional exhaustion. He told me how overwhelmed he'd felt by simple tasks. I always thought he just didn't care. But he was anxious. Paralyzed. So we divided the mountain. I called the insurance. He handled the phone company. We sat next to each other doing boring, stressful things. Together. And then there was sex. At first, I didn't know if I could ever want him again. Not after picturing other hands on his body. But slowly, something shifted. In the past month, we've had more sex than we probably had in the past 10 years. 12 times. I kept track. We shower together almost every day now. We flirt. We laugh. We tease each other like we're 20 again. We buried our old marriage. And started building something new. We're not magically healed. I still get flashes of pain. But I also see his effort. Every day. Maybe our marriage will survive. Maybe it won't. But the version of us that exists now is real. And whatever happens next, we built it with our eyes wide open. Time will tell.